Hello, hello. All right. I am hopping in because I have a lot of yumminess, greatness booked for today. Incredible people. It's going to be a wonderful time. But I wanted to hop on and do chapter 14, share chapter 14 with you. So whether you have the book or you don't, just listen. Follow along. I love to listen to somebody read to a book or read me a book while I'm following along. I just find that I take the information in differently. It allows me to highlight or make notes. But there is also studies out there about the difference between when you're read to versus when you read. And it's just really interesting to take in a book in all different formats. So if you weren't able to at this time get the book, I'm so grateful that you can join me on here. I have two little Yorkies that, of course, want to go out to the washroom just as I am setting up. Ellie, come back. Oh, my second one's going to want to go out. Goodness gracious. This is why little dogs are the best. Tiny bladders. Okay, so I don't want to take up too much time. We are jumping into chapter 14 when relationships get hard. And this is really to dig into the importance of how relationships impact your mental health, your resilience, your ability to live the life that you want to live, to have the capacity and the energy to go after those big goals. You need to have the right people around you. And unless we are intentional about it, unless we stop and think about it, a lot of us just kind of live on autopilot. Oh, I've been friends with them forever. They've always been in my life. And we don't question it, right? We don't make space for new relationships always or for ones that might serve us better. So I am going to get started on chapter 14 when relationships get hard. No relationship, no matter how strong, loving, or fulfilling, is easy all the time. Friendships, family bonds, and romantic relationships all go through seasons of challenge, miscommunication, and growing pains. Some challenges are temporary, meant to be navigated and learned from. Others reveal deeper disconnects that can't be ignored. The key is knowing the difference, understanding when to work through the struggle and when it's time to let it go. This chapter is about how to handle the tough moments in relationships, how to communicate through challenges, and how to recognize when a relationship is no longer serving your well being. We need to put a stop to the illusion of perfection in relationships. There is no such thing. What might seem perfect or desirable to one person may be completely unfulfilling to someone else. Your relationship should align with your personal values and desires, not with comparison to someone else's life. And let's be honest, we rarely see what's happening behind the scenes in other people's relationships, anyways. The difference between hard and unhealthy. Not every difficult moment in a relationship is a red flag. Unless you've seen healthy examples of this, you may find yourself overanalyzing, trying to figure out what's normal and what's difficult, what's normal and what's not. Difficult seasons are normal. They need to be normalized. Oh, there's my puppies. I'm coming right back. Come on, little doggy. Okay. Stress, life transitions, misunderstandings, and personal growth can all create tension. But there's a difference between a relationship that's going through a challenge and one that is consistently draining, toxic, or misaligned. Here's how to tell the difference. A healthy but struggling relationship feels temporary. There's effort on both sides to work through the issue. Growth is happening, even if it's slow. Both people are invested in making things better. An unhealthy relationship feels like a cycle. The same problem keeps repeating. There's little effort towards real change, and one or both people feel trapped, depleted, or undervalued, ignored, or unseen. This can also show up as one person trying to control the other in some way or fashion. So ask yourself, how do I want this relationship to feel? And am I getting that from this person? Are we working through challenges together? Or am I the only one putting in the effort? Is this a temporary rough patch? Or is it a long term pattern? Are either of us trying to control the other instead of hearing and understanding each other? Now, if you think of a relationship that you have that's important to you, or at least that's like really present, whether it be with a sibling, a partner, a family member, a friend, a colleague, pick that one person when you're asking yourself these questions. Okay. I want you to pick a specific person so that you can really apply what I'm asking you. So, how do I want this relationship to feel with that colleague, with that sibling, with your partner, with your child, whoever it is? How do I want this relationship to feel? And am I getting this from this person? So, go through these with a person in mind. It'll be way more impactful, way more powerful. All right, I'm gonna move on. If it's temporary, it may be worth working through. If it's a cycle, it may be time to reevaluate. Working through tough moments in a relationship or in relationships. If a relationship is important to you and you know it's worth fighting for, here are some key ways to navigate the hard moments. These suggestions are based on my personal trial and error experiences, so hopefully you can avoid some of the blunders that I've had to learn from. Number one, communicate what outcome you want. Avoid assuming the other person knows what's wrong. Be clear and honest about how you feel. If you're struggling to articulate your thoughts, try writing them down first. If it allows you to, or it allows you to express everything freely without the pressure of someone else's immediate reaction. From there, you can refine your message so it lands as thoughtful and constructive, not reactive. I used to communicate like this, almost verbatim. Oh, this is how you always react. You never listen. You don't, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to be with someone who, blah, 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 blah. Not surprisingly, he often responded with silence or defensiveness. Now, looking back, I completely understand the defensiveness. I wasn't actually communicating. I was trying to control the situation by telling him who he was, how I saw things, and why he was wrong or bad. That wasn't real communication. True communication is a two-way street, a shared space, a shared control, if you will. Now, I try to lead with what I want instead of blame. So here's that example. I want to feel heard when, instead of, you never listen. Focusing on what you want creates clarity and it makes it easier for the other person to decide whether they're willing and able to meet that need. That's what shared control looks like. They're invited into the solution and are far more likely to share their own perspective and desires in return. Finally, be open to hearing their side. Sometimes just understanding their perspective can shift everything because healthy communication isn't about being right, it's about creating mutual understanding and a shared direction. I know this might sound cheesy, but when it comes to somebody that you really care about and you feel like you're at your wit's end or you don't know what to do to make things better, this is really important that you make sure that you're on the same page, not just assuming you know what they want. All right, number two, separate separate emotional reactions from core issues. Sometimes fights aren't really about what they seem to be. It is actually about who last is it actually about who last cleaned up the kitchen? Or is it about feeling invisible, overwhelmed, or unsupported? Get to the root of the issue instead of reacting to surface level frustrations. This is another situation where writing things down first can help. You want to respond with intention, not react impulsively to what's on the surface. Number three, take space when needed, but don't use it to avoid conflict. Space can help reset emotion. I've learned this the hard way, repeatedly not giving the people that I love, the space that they needed. Because, but it's just as important to come back to the conversation. So I would literally chase my sister down to make sure that we finished an argument. And she needed time to articulate and to kind of take in all the information. And it took forever. I would not respect her boundaries. I would chase her down and force her to have the conversation right now when I wanted to. And just learning that some people need the space, we all should take the space to be intentional so that we respond instead of react. It's just really important, but it's also important that you're not doing that to just get away from the conversation entirely. Avoiding tough discussions doesn't make problems disappear. More often than not, it fuels the next blowout argument. Set a time to reconnect after stepping back. Let's talk about this once we've both had some time to think. As an example of what you could say to not leave it so that you're just walking away, so the person knows you do care to come back. Number four, don't keep score. Look for solutions. In tough moments, it's easy to tally up who's right and who's wrong, but keeping score turns you into opponents instead of teammates. It also keeps the disagreement open-ended, preventing either person from ever feeling the relief that comes with real resolution. Instead of making another jab, ask, how do you want to move past this going forward? Through questions, honestly, you will get so much further in even getting your own point across, because when you better understand, you can better articulate your perspective. But when you make assumptions, you've lost the person. You've lost your credibility. Before, even if you had a good argument, you've lost it because you're only thinking about what your ideas are or what you feel. You're not considering the other person. Okay, so knowing when it's time to let go. Not every relationship is meant to last forever. Sometimes the healthiest choice is walking away. Signs a relationship may no longer be serving you. You feel drained, anxious, or small around this person. Your values, goals, or vision for life are completely misaligned or ignored. You're putting in all the effort while they put in little to none. You've grown, but the relationship has stayed stagnant. The connection is built on guilt, obligation, or fear rather than mutual respect. Letting go doesn't mean you don't care. It means you value yourself enough to walk away from something that isn't supporting your well being. We have one precious life that passes in a blink. There is no time to stay stuck playing small, living out of alignment, or holding yourself back from your full potential. Final thoughts: love should challenge you, not diminish you. Hard moments don't mean a relationship is broken, but they do invite you to reflect, communicate, and decide whether this connection still right for you. Sometimes these hard moments are the secret ingredient that makes your relationship stronger and more meaningful than ever. A strong relationship will challenge you, help you grow, and make space for the real you. It won't require you to shrink, silence yourself, or carry the emotional burden alone. The healthiest relationships are the ones that support your evolution. The question is, do your relationships reflect that? All right, so at the end of every chapter, I add in reflection prompts. And these are ones that I want you to take your time with. This is something that I don't want you to rush through, come back to it, do it a couple times. Like every couple of months, if you come back and answer these questions, see how they change. See like what's different. Maybe you've applied some new boundaries or you've made some new relationships, and come and see if you look at things differently or the same now. Okay, so this reflection prompt series, there's 5 of them. It's called Let's Talk About It. So here's the first question I want you to consider. What is your typical approach to discussing a disagreement? And how do others usually respond to you? Number two, are there relationships in your life that feel like cycles rather than temporary rough patches? Be honest with yourself. Take your time. Go through all of them. Think about all the relationships, the people who get access to you. Do you feel like you're living in cycles with them or just temporary rough patches? Number three, are you avoiding conversations that need to happen? Number four, what do you want your closest relationships to feel like? And are they currently aligning with that vision? This is the powerful one, guys. When I did this exercise for myself, I actually designed how I wanted my relationships to feel. And I didn't even have to break up relationships or cut off relationships or go out looking for somebody new. It happened naturally when I got clear on what I wanted. Maybe it's my own energy change or my own expectation or what I was looking for, but those people just started happening to be in my life. People who were already in my life started behaving differently, likely because I was responding differently. And some people who weren't willing to meet that level of equal contribution or care or positive encouragement instead of draining and negativity, it's like they just kind of poof, went away. There was not even a conversation. They just stopped calling or texting, and that's okay. Some relationships are like that, but they're more so going to be like that if you have boundaries, if you've made the decision to really be intentional about your relationships. Okay, the last one, number five. What boundaries or changes do you need to make in order to protect your well being and honor your growth? What boundaries or changes do you need to make in order to protect your well being and honor your growth? So, how do you have to show up different in your relationships? It's empowering. This isn't putting blame on ourselves. This is empowering us to be the solution when we know something's off. All right, that is the end of chapter 14. I will jump to chapter 15 next week. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. For those of you who have purchased the book, who follow along, who send me notes and messages about how you've received this book, it means so much to me. I'm sending you all so much love. Remember, you're strong enough for this. And if there's anybody you know who's going through a tough season of life, get them this book. It is like a hug. It is going to give them that sense of empowerment and encouragement and understanding that you see their potential.